Steam Decks are now readily available, and like it or not, they're slowly transforming all of us into PC gamers. So whether you've had one for a while or you're just getting yours for the holidays or won it during the Game Awards giveaway, here are 14 games that are a real treat to play on it. First up is the GameSpot Game of the Year, the perfect 10, Elden Ring. In the game, you play as a lowly tarnished with the ultimate goal of seeking out the shards of the Elden Ring and becoming the Elden Lord. On your journey, you'll find hidden dungeons, rare loot, beautiful views, terrifying creatures, and lots of tough enemies that will test your strength. Just try to keep your cool, because a Steam Deck broken out of frustration is a bit more expensive to replace than just a controller. Another challenging game with monsters is Vampire Survivors, a top-down roguelite indie survival game that charmed its way onto tons of top 10 lists in 2022. The premise is simple. You choose from a handful of unique survivors, kill monsters to collect gems that turn into experience points, level up to earn upgrades, and last as long as you possibly can. The game is not a deep, taxing experience that requires hours of time either. Instead, it's designed for short play sessions of 30 minutes or so, enough to fit into your lunch break or perhaps an empty hour in your weekend schedule. This is a huge reason why it's awesome on the Steam Deck. And I know the game is free now on iOS and Android, but in my opinion, movement feels more responsive with an analog stick. So I'd say test it out on mobile and then use that version to just get your fix whenever your deck isn't around, like in the shower. If those first two games weren't filled with enough swords and magic for you, then check out Cult of the Lamb. In this game, you play as a lamb saved from death by a mysterious entity called the One Who Waits. In return, you must return to the land of the living and start a cult in their name and defeat the bishops of the old faith. And when you're not slaying heretics, you'll be gardening, decorating, cooking, getting married, and playing dice, all while listening to a soundtrack filled with bangers. Now let's take a break from the monsters and chat about a talking mouse. Disney Dreamlight Valley is what I'd like to call a crossing-like game, or even a Stardew Crossing-like. In the game, you're tossed into a valley that is home to tons of iconic Disney and Pixar characters. The only problem is that there's an evil force called the Forgetting looming over the valley that's pushed out a lot of characters and caused all of them to forget their memory. Now it's up to you to get to the bottom of what's going on, stop the Forgetting, and bring all your friends back to the valley. And that's just the main story. The game is filled with side quests, activities, customization, and seasonal events that deliver hours upon hours of fun. It's hard to believe it's an early access game. Another cozy title that shines on the Steam Deck is Spiritfarer. As the operator of the Underworld's ferry, you'll meet characters, help resolve their unfinished business, and then wave goodbye as they coast into the Everlight. All the while, there's plenty of recipes to learn, items to craft, plants to harvest, and more. Your list of duties and quests is long, so you'll have plenty to do over the course of many on-the-go sessions with this game. Just know the passengers aboard your public transit of choice may catch you drying your eyes. If dialogueless relaxation is what you're after, then allow me to introduce Dorf Romantic. This game is best described as a city-building puzzle game, but it's definitely not your average city builder. In the game, you're given hexagonal tiles, each with a different biome attached. You place the tiles alongside each other to create a beautiful landscape filled with color. The puzzle element comes in as you rotate and move tiles around in an effort to have similar biomes next to each other in order to complete quests and earn even more points. Its chill music and simple gameplay make it the perfect Steam Deck game to unwind with. Okay, let's get back to the monsters. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is my favorite game of all time, and it feels so at home on the Steam Deck. Sorry, Switcher 3 fans. Though the game is now 7 years old, it's still a benchmark in video game storytelling, especially when it comes to those incredible side quests. Exploring the world, meeting colorful characters, and slaying monsters makes any train ride or picnic so much more interesting. Digging that fantasy vibe, but you're looking for something with a little more survival elements than The Witcher? Valheim might be a good choice for you. Chop down a few trees and work on building your home in the early hours, or party up with friends and take on the game's most unfriendly beasts many hours later. Seeing it on Steam Deck can feel like arriving in a whole new world. But let's pretend you're sick of Earth, and I don't blame you. There's an epic space adventure waiting for you in LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. This massive collection takes you through all 9 core Star Wars movies, including the final 2 films in the sequel trilogy, which up until this release had not been Lego-fied yet. With more than 400 playable Star Wars characters, you'll have plenty of ways to spice up any commute. And what's cooler than swinging swords of light around in space? Skateboarding in space. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Let's just talk about the base game for the moment. This super stylized and chill skateboarding game is perfect for short on-the-go play sessions. Each level will have you so focused on beating your rival's score that you won't even notice you missed your stop. The bright side is that you get to do another run while you wait for the next bus. Another sports game that's great on Steam Deck is Cursed to Golf. In the game, you're struck by lightning while on the verge of winning the biggest tournament of your professional career. Sadly, you die and it's game over. Just kidding, golf is inevitable. Confined to Golf Purgatory, a diabolical underworld controlled by the mysterious greenskeeper, you must work your way through an 18-hole course to prove your worth and come back to life. When you die in this next game, you don't come back to life, you just continue living through your children. Rogue Legacy 2 is a roguelite action game that has you once again battling through a castle as a cascading series of heirs, each with their own powers, making incremental progress as you inherit new traits and buy permanent upgrades. The new 2D 3D hybrid art style looks fantastic on the Steam Deck screen, and it's the perfect type of easy to pick up, hard to put down experience that thrives on the handheld. And that's it for the roguelites. Now let's talk about an open world puzzler that forgoes combat of any kind in favor of a chilled out coming of age story set in a unique fantasy world full of quests, characters, and secrets. Sable lets you see its credits in as little as 3 hours or as many as 20 plus. The music is done entirely by Japanese Breakfast too, giving the entire game a meditative quality that is perfect for a long trip you may not otherwise be looking forward to. Some might say that I've left the best for last, and to be honest, I wouldn't argue with those people. POWERWASH Simulator is exactly what the name implies, a game about cleaning things with a power washer. The experience focuses on building up your own business in its career mode and completing dirty jobs across town. There's no time limit or nagging sensation to achieve a high score, it's just you, a filthy building, and complete freedom in how you want to finish the job. POWERWASH Sim was the drug that got me to try tons of other simulation games like Lawn Mowing Sim, and I love getting a little cleaning done everywhere I go with the Steam Deck. So what are your favorite games to play on deck? Let us know in the comments and toss your playtime for those games in as well. I want to see how dedicated you are. Thanks for watching.